Hello, I'm Sherry Tunney with the Marine Canvas Training Institute. Today we'll demonstrate the making of a full cover. We'll show you how to lay out the patterns to avoid waste and how to cut and sew them together quickly. Our goal, as always, is to demonstrate how to increase your profits through the efficient use of materials and labor, while at the same time turning out quality marine products. Joining me today is Don Wedge, President of the Marine Canvas Training Institute. Hi, Don.
Hi, Sherry.
Although your students may master the skills that have made you renowned in the industry, how important is it that they have a good material to utilize?
Well, Sherry, using the skills we teach them, the materials that they use can make the difference of whether they're turning out a quality product that we can accept and that our customers have come to expect.
So where do you go to get this high quality material?
What we use is Sunbrella, which is manufactured by Glenraven Mills, and Gore-Tex thread.
Okay, tell us a little bit about Sunbrella.
Sunbrella is manufactured by Glenraven Mills. One of the reasons that we use it is that Sunbrella has got a 5-year guarantee on the material. And it also has a complete color line, which is acceptable to our customers to match the colors on their boats.
And Gore-Tex sewing thread?
Gore-Tex sewing thread we use for the simple reason it's the only thread that I know of that when you sew a marine product up with it is guaranteed for the life of that product, 100%.
Now, how do you get these materials to your shop?
Those two materials, along with some others we buy from Unitex, which is one of our national suppliers. One of the reasons we use Unitex is because they're dedicated to fast service and competitive pricing.
So it's safe to say by utilizing a service such as Unitex and having high quality materials such as Sunbrella and the Gore-Tex sewing thread that your end product is really a top quality product, one that can withstand the harsh elements often encountered.
Sherry, you got that exactly right. Now let's get back to the shop and go to work.
All right.
Previously we showed you how to measure for a full cover. We went back to the cutting table. We cut the material in the proper lengths based on the dimensions that we had. We sewed them together, and just to get a little bit ahead of the game, we've draped this blank on the boat ready to pattern. Now, in some of the previous tapes, we've talked about these famous sandbags of mine, and again, I told you in the last segment that I was kind of lazy, so what we do is take some sandbags and just place them along the sides of the boat, because this is what holds the blank on the boat while we're patterning it. And again, these sandbags made with that Maxwell House coffee can full of sand are just the right weight to throw so that you don't even have to walk the length of the boat. You just throw them to the places where you want them and where you're going to use them on the boat. Okay? Now the girls have already draped this on the boat, and now they're going to go around the boat and hang these sandbags on it. What you have to do is start up here at the bow, Becky, and clamp this cover down. Either clamp it or hang a sandbag on it, and you'll notice that I've got pony clamps, which I happen to sell, by the way, and they're the only ones I've found that are strong enough to hold these sandbags on the covers. So now she's hanging a sandbag up here on the bow. Then she's going to go to the back of the boat, and they're going to hang bags across the back of the cover to pull it back and pull all these sags out. Now don't get to pulling real hard on these covers. Just pull them back until they drape naturally. Don't try to make them do something they don't want to do, because all you're going to have is a mess. Dawn, yours needs to go just a little bit tighter. What you do is kind of watch this roll from the corner of the windshield here to the corner of the boat in the back, and make sure that it just drapes natural. Don't be trying to pull down on the side, because all you're going to do is pull it down so tight that you'll have a big lake of water right there in the middle of the cover. This is why we put tent poles in covers, to jack them up and get the water off. Covers were never designed to be skin tight. They were designed to cover the boat, keep the moisture and the elements out of it. Okay, Beck, now you can start. Here's all the things that she's going to do. Look at the fullness that we have along the side of the cover. You always got it up here at the windshield, so we always hang a sandbag up here beside the windshield. We fold a dart into the cover to get rid of the fullness and hang a sandbag on it. The clamp holds the dart in place and the sandbag holds the cover in place. Check it and make sure that you're at least touching the rub rail all the way around. Look for any other darts that you might need, as in on the back corner. You have to put a dart back there, girls, on both back corners. Notice how she's folding the darts. Fold them the natural way that they want to fold. The windshield darts here, we always fold toward the stern of the boat, so that when you're dragging it down the road, it's not trying to open itself up, even though we've got it sewed down. So we got our darts in the back corners, we got our darts at the windshield. We're probably going to need one dart up here at the front. You want to put that in back? And the reason that's up there, and it may be a little hard to see here, but the reason that's put in, there's a light sticking up here, which is higher than the rub rail. So it's going to require a dart so that it fits nice. Okay, the next step is go around, and here's all the things that we have to do. We've got darts in it. Let's just go ahead and mark the darts. And what we're doing, when we get up here on the windshield, it'll be a little easier to see. She's marking the dart for the bow. Up here on the windshield, she's going to mark the top of the dart. And she's going to mark the bottom of the dart down here, mark both edges. And if you're concerned about which way this dart has to fold when you get back in the shop, draw an arrow right through the fold here, pointing towards the back with a pointer on it. That tells you which way to fold the dart. Go back to the back corner, mark the dart for the back. You do this all the way around the boat. Seeing as how Dawn went down the other side, the next thing is on your way back up through, before you're ready to cut the pattern, mark all your reinforcements. So what you do is you walk along the boat and pat it down a little bit and see if there's something sharp sticking up, or if you can see it sticking up. You have to realize this: acrylics do not have any abrasive qualities. They have to be reinforced with something that will stand the grief. So if there's something sticking up that you can feel or see, mark it. And you always put a reinforcement on larger than what the area is that is called for. Here it's laying on the windshield, so she's just drawing the outline of the windshield so that she can sew reinforcing on the underside so that it can lay on the windshield and not wear a hole in it. While she's right back here, something has to support this cover. So you look at the dimension from the windshield to the stern, and this is an arbitrary call, but usually about every 6 feet you need to put some kind of a support. So what she's done is put an X over there, and we're going to put a reinforcing patch on the underside of the cover with a grommet in it so that we can put a tent pole in it to support it. Tent pole which is adjustable, which will jack the cover up in the air to keep the water from collecting in the back end. In this case, we don't need anything on the bow, so as she walks up through here, she can check and see if there's anything else that's got to be reinforced. There's got to be a reinforcement put up here for the light where the dart is. Now she's got all of her darts marked and all of her reinforcements marked. That happens to be a cleat. She drew it just like the cleat so that she can put a larger reinforcement on it. Now she's standing right there, so she might just as well start cutting this out. And here's what she's going to do. We don't draw a line down here along the rub rail. We run our shears along the underside of the rub rail because you can feel it. So show them how it works. Back to slice right down through there. And you'll notice that while she's cutting this, she's not pulling and tugging on the cover. She's just letting it lay natural, running the shears along the rub rail. You'll also notice that here on the corner of the windshield where the sandbag is hanging, she did not try to trim along the rub rail. She let it hang because you're all smart enough to get from this point to this point when you get back on the table. That way your sandbag is hanging here to hold this cover so it doesn't fall off on the side. Notice on the back corner over here, she's got the clamp there for the dart, and she's going to trim along the rub rail across the back without removing the clamp and the sandbags. Again, they're going to stay right there. Because the little short area from one cut to another, you can get that on the cutting table. And I don't know, people, but that's about as complicated as I can make patterning a cover. It's all trimmed out, ready to go to the sewing table. So what we do now is we drop the sandbags, we pull it off into our arms on the stern of the boat, and walk in the shop and sew the thing up. So that completes how to pattern a full cover for a boat.
We'd like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, the people from Glen Raven Mills Incorporated, who manufacture Sunbrella, Unitex Incorporated, a nationwide distributor, and W.L. Gore & Associates, using creative technologies worldwide in the making of Gore-Tex sewing thread. Join us again when we show you how to increase your profits and save time and effort with the Marine Canvas Training Institute programs.
Sherry, you know you've done a fantastic job, but you know what?
What?
I'm sick of working. Let's go fishing.
Okay, Don, let's fish.